you referenced before your time on Wall Street,
Yeah.
CEO of Merrill Lynch Wealth Management, CFO at Citigroup,
Yep.
before Citigroup, and CEO Sanford Bernstein, like the highest
Yep.
echelons of Wall Street. Do you think that the culture of Wall Street has changed since 2008? Maybe was that a wake-up call for anybody? What is the body language saying here? Let me think here.
I think you need a body language
I need a
expert.
body language consultant.
You know,
There's got to be one
you
here at the
know,
Aspen Institute. I got
So the reason I'm slumping is because you probably saw in this weekend's New York Times there was an op-ed by a gentleman who is now an entrepreneur. Is he here?
I don't know if he's
I don't know. I turned around and saw a guy. I looked him up on LinkedIn, and I turned around earlier and saw a guy who looks a lot like him. But was it Bank of America, which is where I was for a period of time running Merrill? Was it Credit Suisse? And was relaying this bro talk that goes on behind closed doors about women. And his view is it's much more pervasive than we recognize, than I recognized. And his view is it's damaging to the advancement of women. And I wrote a piece on it over the weekend. It really, I could only tweet it. The only thing I could say was oof when I tweeted it, because I didn't even know what to say. You sort of know it goes on.
Right.
But does it really anymore? And it's 2016, and I know it did in 1988, but does it really still? Oof. And the point that I wanted to make, the point that he made is if you treat women as objects, you don't promote them. If you talk about them in that way, you don't promote them. And I don't have the most updated numbers, Aaron, but I can tell you a couple of years ago, gender diversity on Wall Street was worse than it was 10 years ago.
Worse.
Worse. It was worse than it was before the crash. And so Wall Street had not gotten better. On that metric, Wall Street had gotten worse. Now, why do you care? You're probably saying, you know, Sallie, I care. Do you have a daughter?
I do have two.
Well, yeah, you're
have
probably
two
saying
daughters,
I care because I have a daughter and I don't want people talking about them like that, or my spouse or my friends or whoever else. The other reason you care is that there is research that indicates that homogeneity,
a homogenous environment. How about that?
Homogenous folk tend to lead to greater risk. That if you and I are the same, we tend to implicitly trust each other, and therefore the risk tends to build up amongst traders.
Right, so we don't question what the other person is doing.
That's exactly right. There's even research that says guys tend to egg each other on to take on research, to take on more risk. So you care because the financial crisis. And that if there is any indication that this lack of diversity led to greater risk, you care. And it's gotten worse. And the other reason you care is because of what we were talking about earlier, which is if this country's facing a retirement savings crisis, and it's a woman's crisis, is it any coincidence that Wall Street and the investing industry is more men and are not serving women well? So those are two reasons you care.